Welcome back to another episode of Simply Robotics, the podcast, a podcast exploring the animation industry one episode at a time. I'm your host, Monique, and I'm joined by Jaren once again, and we are going to be recapping episode 5 of Disney/Marvel's What If. And this episode is titled, What If Zombies? ! So, Jaren, I know you're ready. I see you.
I was so stressed.
I was stressed because I don't like zombies. I don't like dark things. I don't like spooky things. But yes, so it starts off, typical, the whole theme song, all that stuff. Then the Watcher is narrating, and we see Bruce Banner falling from space to warn the Avengers about the threat that's to come, aka Thanos. He ends up in Doctor Strange's home called... What's it called?
The Citadel?
You keep calling it different things.
No, it's...
'Cause I keep saying the septum, and I think that's the piercing.
Yes, it's the septum.
The septum is not the piercing?
No, the sanctum.
Sanctum. Okay, so there is...
Septum. I'm sorry. I was doing
They're in the sanctum. Well, he's in the sanctum. He crashes into the stairs. He steps out, and he's looking around, and he's like, am I too late? So he's trying to turn it into the Hulk, but the Hulk doesn't want to come out. And I'm wondering, I'm trying to place in the time. So this is after he got his butt beat, essentially, by Thanos, right?
This is essentially a Infinity War.
That's what I was thinking. So, so Hulk doesn't want to come out. So then the children of Thanos appear, and they start talking to Bruce, similar to the movie, but then we see a small one of those Doctor Strange magic portal things open, and Iron Man...
Little sizzle reels.
Yeah. Iron Man, his hand comes out and just blasts them. And Bruce is so happy, Iron Man and Doctor Strange are here, and then they're fighting the children of Thanos, but then we hear these, sounds, these growling, really weird noises, and Bruce is
and then the music was a huge giveaway, because it went from, the Avengers theme song to, this horrific, creepy ghost choir.
Yeah.
I was like, that doesn't sound good.
Yeah, and Bruce is like, y'all could kind of take it easy. Y'all going a little too hard there. And then Stark turns around, and we see he's a zombie along with Doctor Strange and Wong. And I'm just like, oh, God, we're just, again, as we've been saying every episode, they're getting straight to it. This is just a couple minutes in, full-on zombie. So Strange's cape actually comes to help Bruce, and then we see a swarm of gnats or something like that attacking
ants.
It is ants. So they're flying ants.
Mm-hmm. I think she made them really small, and then they got big after they
so
cannibalized the zombies.
So they're attacking the zombies, and then we see that it's Hope from Ant-Man appears, and she blasts Tony, basically decapitating him before he could fire at her. And then the other, she makes the ant giant, big, whatever. And an ant eats his head. And I was like, that's kind of gross. So so at this point we're 5 minutes into it, and I'm I know this episode's about to be a lot for me.
So much has happened.
I found myself a couple times just lowering the volume, because I was just too much anxiety was happening.
Everything was coming at you.
Yeah. So as all this is happening, and Wong is Peter is talking to Hope and trying to figure out what's going on. Spider-Man basically comes down and swings off and scoops up Bruce, and then we see the Watcher in the sky, and he's like too many great catastrophes, one sprang from a place of love and hope. So this goes into a flashback of 2 weeks earlier with Dr. Hank Pym entering the quantum realm, searching for his long lost wife. But in this universe, Janet Van Dyne, she contracted a quantum virus that corrupted her brain. So when she finally reunites with him in this quantum realm, she does a turnaround, and we see she's a zombie, and
they keep doing these horror movie tropes, the zombie reveal, basically.
There's a lot of them in here.
And it zooms in.
Yeah. So she attacks Hank, and they get in the ship, and they come back to whatever reality, and they the Watcher says, like, alas, Hope Van Dyne's, long awaited family reunion was not what she expected. And Hope opens the vessel, and then basically it's almost like a jump scare. Her parents jump out, she shrinks down. Ant-Man, Scott, wasn't as quick, so they attacked him. And I was like,
and they do like the epic, like, hand slap against the glass. And that's his, infinite doom.
Yeah. So the Watcher's continuing, and he's like, within 24 hours, the entire Pacific Northwest is infected. And
this virus takes off fast. Like, they change fast.
Yeah, they do. And we see there's zombies on the Golden Gate Bridge, and then they cut to the Avengers arriving, and you're like, oh, cool, the Avengers. And then the Watcher's like, ironically, it was the Avengers' heroism that sealed humanity's fate. And I was like, what? And he's like, and then we see a very small Hank bite Steve Rogers on the neck, and then he grows to like normal size and attacks him. And the Watcher's like, because once Earth's mightiest heroes joined the infected, no one else stood a chance unless, of course, they knew the rules. So at this moment, the Avengers are being attacked by the zombies. They're being bitten, and you're just like, well, okay.
Can we talk about the fact that not only are we dealing with zombies, we're dealing with zombies that are aware. Usually the zombies are just like, they're dumb, they don't speak, they don't retain any knowledge, they just want to eat everything. These zombies, each superhero that gets infected retains the knowledge that they have powers.
Right.
So I'm like, this ain't fair. I'm like, this ain't fair.
No, yeah. I mean, like, superhero zombies is just, I would just like offer myself up. Like, I would not even try. I wouldn't
run.
run.
Take me out.
Yeah,
I saw a thread on Twitter. They was like, if you got caught in the zombie apocalypse, are you going to try to stay in the line and fight? Or are you just going to let them out? And so many people were just like, bro, I ain't got it in me. I'm going to just let them take me out.
Yeah,
man.
absolutely.
This ain't it.
Make it quick. So they cut to basically a vlog that Peter Parker has going on about how to not get bitten by zombies. And Okoye, whoop, 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 she interrupts and says that they have, they're like in, where are they? They're in something that's like hanging in the sky, actually.
Like, so they're basically, the vlog was cool because it showed you who's all left. So it's Spider-Man, which is, it's very obvious that Tom Holland is not voicing this Spider-Man.
Oh, yes.
And I really feel like the only reason the Spider-Man's work is because it has to be Tom Holland, which is going to be really sad if they ever decide to go like with another Spider-Man. Because I think he's just like the perfect
They
Spider-Man.
should just not do it.
Yeah. So it's Spider-Man is happy. Bucky is there. I can't remember the guy's name, but he's from Ant-Man. He always talking about Baba Yaga.
I don't know his name either.
I can't remember. And then it's Peggy Carter's niece,
Sharon.
They called her like the blonde Bond or something like that.
Yeah.
They kept giving them all these aliases, and then it was almost like a video game where they list their alias and their strengths or whatever. And then it's Hope Van Dyne, Okoye, and Bruce Banner.
And Bruce Banner. Yep.
And the Cape.
And the Cape.
Dr. Cape. He's the unsung hero of this episode.
Seriously. So yeah, they're in this like contraption that's being tied by like web in the sky to be like elevated from essentially like all the zombies and stuff like that. So yeah, so Okoye is interrupting, and she's like, we have intercepted a call or a signal that someone has made progress with the cure. So they realize the signal is coming from S.H.I.E.L.D.'s first base back in New Jersey. So they drive down to Grand Central, and for me, it was very like I Am Legend. It was like, I was immediately like, oh my gosh, like Frank, isn't that the mannequin that Will Smith's character was like friends with? Did you see I Am Legend?
I'm Legend. Yes.
Yes, Will Smith's zombie movie.
When the zombie apocalypse was his fault.
To her. So for me, it was like they're driving back to the same area where Frank was, and it's almost like you're saying they're doing a lot of these like zombie movies, typical camera setups. So like, is it Okoye and Happy are in the drive? Like the Happy's driving and Okoye's in the passenger seat, and the way that they frame it, it's like there's a big opening right.
Driver.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a big opening in the view, And then like boom, zombie drops down, all that sort of stuff. And I was like, I knew it, I knew it. So anyways, they're in
Yep.
Grand Central, and the plan is to basically take a train into New Jersey. So once they arrive at the train station, they decide to
Clearly, Okoye ain't never seen a horror movie
right, and that's
because she
exactly what
makes
Peter Parker says.
the most basic rookie mistake. She's like, all right, we're gonna split up, divide and conquer. And of course, Spider-Man is like, have you ever seen a horror movie? She's like, no, why do we need horror movies when we can watch American reality TV? And then the guy that's like, I was talking about Baba Yaga, I was like, ooh, burn. But they
Yeah,
basically make the cardinal sin and they split up. And it
exactly.
just goes downhill from there.
Yeah, and I mean, just to, like fast forward, they're doing this thing trying to get a train activated to go. They're getting attacked by Falcon, zombie Falcon. They're getting attacked by zombie Hawkeye, and like you're saying, they still have all their superpowers and they're very aware of it. They know how to use it.
Happy running around talking about some blam, blam, blam.
Eventually, unfortunately, Happy becomes a zombie, you know, down in the tunnels or what have you. But Sharon Carter was able to escape. Everybody makes it onto the train. Strange's cape actually saves Spider-Man from getting bitten by a zombie. And he's actually wearing it in one moment as he's on the train.
Oh, also, I thought it was interesting that they took the train from Penn Station to Jersey because you can't take the train from Penn Station to Jersey, right?
Well, you can for Penn Station, but they were at Grand Central, and that's
Grand
the thing.
Central.
Yeah, you can't take it from Grand Central.
So I
So,
thought that was interesting that they went that route.
yeah. You know, movie magic, I guess. So once out of the tunnel, now Sharon hears something on the train, in the train car that she's at. And Bucky, you know, also hears her like scream or something like that. And he runs to her aid, and it's zombie Captain America. And they have a little tussle or something like that. Sharon ends up becoming a zombie. Bucky's fighting. He defeats Cap, and Hope comes in and she defeats Sharon, but she ends up getting cut and getting
She
zombie.
ate
No,
Sharon ate her. I was like, oh, when I saw that, when she was like open her mouth and said chunk,
yeah,
and I was just like, oh, this is it. That's
yeah,
it.
yeah. Hope had some cuts, and when she basically imploded Sharon, some of that zombie juice definitely got into her cut. So they're like, well, you know, it's a wrap for you. We know you only got like, I don't know, 10 minutes before you become a zombie.
What I do appreciate is that she didn't wait like to the end of the episode to reveal that she's infected, or she wasn't that person that was clearly infected and was just like, no, guys, I'm just gonna keep it to myself and kill everybody in the process.
She couldn't. What you call it? Bruce saw it. He was like, Hope, you know, you got a little
Got a problem.
you got a little something right there. So the train, of course, it runs out of fuel. And they're like, well, we're almost there. You just have to go through all of that. And all of that is like a swarm or a crowd of
Like a
zombies.
sea of
A
zombies.
sea of zombies. But they just could get over it. So Hope was like, you know what? One thing I can do is I'm going to make myself like super ginormous. And I'm going to literally carry y'all and place y'all down basically in the shield base. And
I thought
she's
that was super smart.
right. And she's doing that. She's like stepping on zombies. She's kicking
She's like
zombies.
yeeting them across the.
Literally kicking them like soccer balls, like a football, you know? And, you know, the zombies, they're kind of moving fast. They're climbing up her at the same time. So she puts the team down, and the zombies at this point are like on her helmet, and they're like banging it and crashing it. And I was just like, ugh. And she like, for some reason, decides to like fall back and just like, oh, into the sea.
Yeah, she just like succumbs to her injuries, I guess. I think it probably hit her like harder because she was so big.
True.
And she
True.
just down goes Fraser or down goes Hope. This is the second episode where Hope take a L, man.
Right.
She
Yeah.
just racking up on the L's.
Yeah. So once the team is, you know, there, they start wondering, like, how come the zombies aren't climbing the fence? And then they do a little bit of a cut pan ordeal. And you see that there's actually a hole in the fence, and they don't even need to climb it. They just need to walk through. But something is stopping them from walking through it. So the same person from Ant-Man, you know, he just keeps mentioning Baba Yaga. And I didn't remember that because I think we talked about this earlier. I didn't really pay attention to the Ant-Man movies. So I didn't even remember that connection. And I was like, I wonder if he's after the fact. I was like, I wonder if he was saying that in reference to Wanda, you know?
Yes. So in the Ant-Man movies, when he says that he's referring to Ghost, the character that keeps like appearing and disappearing, but in this he's referring to Wanda because he would explain in Ant-Man that it's like an old spooky story that they used to tell the kids about a witch that
Mm-hmm.
would come and like take them in the night if they were bad or whatever. And that's basically Wanda, what we find out later.
Yeah. So Vision like appears in another jump scare moment, and
Yeah, we haven't seen Vision since WandaVision.
right. Right. It was so nice hearing his voice too. I was like, oh, I really do like Vision now. So he appears and he tells him that, the zombies don't want him because he's an android, and basically says that the Mind Stone is emitting some sort of sub frequency that keeps them away. So they're just
Hmm.
like, oh, okay. And Vision also ends up explaining that he's been experimenting trying to find a cure. And he reveals another reveal that he's cured Scott. Like, Scott, his head is in a tank thing. And everyone's like, oh, okay. But Bruce gets really excited saying that, since Vision has a cure, all that they need to do is just broadcast this frequency worldwide. And then, the zombie apocalypse would be over. So then
Hmm.
Vision's like, well, this technology is beyond human capability. And Okoye is like, well, we can do it in Wakanda. Like, duh. You know?
All we gotta do is go to Africa.
Basically. But she just explains that because of the force field, they're like the last human sanctuary. Can't even say the word. On Earth.
Sanctuary.
Sanctuary, thank you. So while all of this is happening, Bucky's like, you know what? I'm gonna go look for some transportation so we can just hurry up and get out of here, get this
That's
to
what we do.
Wakanda.
Yeah, Bucky's like, I want action and I want it now.
And this is the part that made me turn down the volume because he goes into some back area. It's really dark. They have this kind of flashlight effect, which I never like. So you're like, okay, this is like an abandoned area,
And you hear like a low growl happening while he's looking, and you're just like, ah, this is
Yes,
it.
yes. So while this is happening, Bruce is looking through security logs and he's like, oh, I see we're not the only ones that responded to your call. And Peter Parker is like, oh, that's great. That means that there's more survivors. But then, like, where are
Where they
they?
at?
And Vision is just like,
I
yes.
can
So
explain.
so about that, we cut back to Bucky and we see something like start to rise, kind of like behind him or whatever. And he just fires like 2 or 3 shots and it hits a glass. And we see a glimpse of what could be like a zombie lady thing, but it's not really too sure. And then we hear T'Challa's voice, which was like, oh, Chadwick, But
First of all, he's alive. Second of all, Vision was feeding him to Wanda.
I know. Yeah.
Like, well, just when you think they can't get any darker,
Yeah. Yep. Those first 2 episodes of this series was real cute.
they was just like, all right, now that we done warmed y'all up and got y'all used to it,
Yeah.
into the thick of it.
Yeah. So T'Challa's like, stop, you'll anger her. And we're like, what? So, T'Challa's like on the surgery table. He looks really faint. He has an amputated leg. And he's like, there isn't much time. Like, we have to run now. And then it goes to the close up of the lady zombie looking at them.
She did cracking the glass.
Yeah, she starts glowing red, and that reminded me of what? Chaos magic, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the glass is
The
cracking.
fact that she turned a zombie and she still has her chaos magic.
Wild. Yeah, the universe is doomed.
At this point, I'm like, everybody's screwed. Fast forward to the part of the whole anniversary. Because apparently the Watcher don't even want to like say nothing this time. He just sitting back like in the shadows.
Yeah, he's really narrating this time. He's like,
He's
I'm up in
literally
the
like,
sky. He's like, last episode, y'all brought me down here, but I'm chilling this time.
right? He's like, I ain't got nothing to offer.
Yeah, so
To buff me now.
the glass is cracking and we cut back to Vision and he's like apologizing to Bucky, apologizing, and Bucky and T'Challa also return to like this main area where everyone's at, and T'Challa's revealing that this whole place is a trap. That exactly what Jaren said, that Vision saved him only to feed him to Wanda. And Bucky refers to Wanda as like, his zombie bride. And I thought that was a little bit funny. So
Okoye wanted all the smoke.
Right.
She saw her king was missing a leg. She was like, you must die.
But before we get to that, Peter is asking Vision how he was able to cure Scott and not Wanda. And Vision says it's because Wanda's powers were too strong that they resisted all the treatment. So, right to your point, Okoye is not having any of this, and just as she's threatening Vision, like she's about to strike him, we hear like a sound. And Vision's like, you awakened her. And she hasn't eaten in days. And you're like, what the heck? So the same Baba Yaga man, he looks in a direction and we see a door is glowing red. And then he whispers, yeah, Baba Yaga. And then he gets zipped away in that direction. And it's like all hell's breaking loose at this point. So,
like they're not even giving you a chance to recover from the fact that you just saw Scott's head in the jar. You just saw T'Challa. Not only did you just see T'Challa, you saw that they were over there eating him.
Yep.
Then you find out that Vision been out here killing everybody that been coming to rescue him, thinking they're coming to rescue him, and he been killing them all. And then now you got Wanda hot on the trail.
Yep. So Vision does this thing with the Mind Stone, like blasts open the ceiling. They're trying to get out, but Wanda catches Okoye, and then she goes her whole little Wakanda forever, and she's eaten too. I think what happens? Vision saying that there's like a jet that they can go and do stuff, and Vision pulls out the Mind Stone from his head because he's like, I have to pay for what I've done, but I can't leave her. So, in this moment, as soon as Vision is separated from the Mind Stone, the zombies start walking through the fence and they walking into the area. So Bucky's like, you know what, I'm gonna buy y'all some time. Huh?
I said Vision out here killing the vibe. He killed the frequency, and now the zombies is ready to eat.
Oh yeah, they've been ready. They've literally been ready. So Bucky's buying them time and starts like shooting at Wanda, and she's like, kind of sending the bullets back, and she ends up flinging Bucky also like into the distance, and I thought that was kind of funny because they have been throwing people,
yeeting everybody.
Exactly. So then Bruce decides, he's also gonna be like a martyr, and he's like, it's time to turn into the Hulk and also help them buy some time. So he becomes the Hulk and he's beating up zombies, but then he also starts going toe to toe with Wanda. I thought you were gonna say something.
No, I was gonna say I thought it was interesting because at one point he gets bit and it doesn't affect him because I guess because he hulks out.
I would just wonder, like, is it we just don't see it? Like he doesn't because some of them turned into zombies immediately, like the children of Thanos, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I was just wondering about his reaction.
He's the Hulk. It's a little delayed.
Maybe I don't know.
Because the Hulk is technically not supposed to be able to die, but earlier episodes have shown us otherwise.
True. Very, very true. So who is it? It's Scott, Peter, and T'Challa end up in the jet, and they are flying off, and then we see the giant zombie Hope at this point, and she grabs the aircraft, and they do full throttle, and they're able to zip off and still escape. And I don't know who she picks up, but she picks up some zombie and she throws it at them. And it hits their ship and then kind of bounces off, right?
She threw that zombie how dare y'all escape from me?
Yes, she did. So we are now about 20 minutes out from Wakanda. Peter's looking super sad because he had turned down his chance to be an Avenger, and now that they're all gone, and T'Challa, which I thought was a little bit moving, given, Chadwick Boseman's life trajectory, if you will. He says, in my culture, death is not the end. They are still with us as long as we don't forget them. So now the Watchers, even in the darkest...
It just hit a little bit harder.
It sure did, yeah. And the Watchers, even in the darkest of times, humans will give all to save their planet, even if it might bring the end to the universe. So I was like, oh, hell, So as this is being said... we are on Wakanda, and we see that there are zombies knocking on the shield, and then we do a cut and it's zombie Thanos with the Infinity Gauntlet, and he's fist ready, and you see the Infinity Stones glow a little bit, and then the episode's over. And I was like, the episode's over? I was like, what? As soon as they try to get into the shield, what's going to happen?
And all he needs is the Mind Stone.
Right, and they have it.
This was a really good episode. I really, really like What If, because I like the fact that I can't, you can't really guess what's about to happen next. And I kind of find that refreshing, because before in the cinematic universe, and then this is going to happen, and that's happening, and this is going to happen. But now I'm just along for, and every time I think that they're not going to be able to top their last episode, they do it. I'm like, I wonder how they're going to top the next episode.
Yeah, me too, actually. Let me see something. I didn't even save it. I thought
Party Thor was going to be next.
Yeah, me too, actually.
I'm also wondering if this is going to be the potential big bad, because they pulled this storyline from, there's a variant of Marvel Comics, a zombie Marvel Comics that features Magneto and the X-Men and stuff, but it was written by the same person that wrote The Walking Dead. So and then the Watcher says earlier in the episode, he says they have the potential to infect the entire multiverse. So I'm like, if they retain their powers and stuff, and ain't nobody else left in their timeline to eat,
right?
Who says they don't?
You really want all of this stuff to connect, don't you?
I do. It only makes sense.
Yeah, who knows? What were some things I had? One note that I had is just like, I don't understand why zombies are obsessed with climbing. Like, they wanted to climb Giant Hope and climb the fence, and was it World War Z? They were climbing stuff. Like, they like climbing. I don't get that. And
I don't know if it's a horror movie trope.
Yeah, and I also kind of wonder, what's the end goal with zombies? Like, is it just to make everybody a zombie? Like, what happens when everybody's a zombie then? What's the end goal there with that?
You're right. What happens when everybody's a zombie?
Yeah. I don't get it. So anyways, that's our episode. Thanks for making it through the last 10 minutes. We're gonna do our best to it's fine. It's all fine. It's all good. Jaren, tell the people how they can reach you.
You can find me on all social media platforms at Jaren Merchant.
And I am at Simplyrobotix everywhere. Simplyrobotix. Thank you again, and see you next time.